Hello, my name is Melissa. I'm the owner and artist here at the Top Drawer RVA located in Richmond, Virginia. Today, we're going to work together to transform this tiny little play kitchen into a beautiful boho delight. First things first, proper prep is super important. I need you to inspect your item before you paint anything, making sure to finish any holes off with your Dixie Belle's mud, removing the hardware, and cleaning super well with White Lightning. On this piece, I removed the top little burners. I'm going to put them aside and we're going to paint them and add them back onto the piece when we're finished. I also removed the internal hardware and took the door off the front of the stove. Plan for this piece is going to be super boho and super bright. I'm going to use Kernel Mustard, which is a gorgeous bright yellow color. So before you paint with a bright color, it's helpful to use Boss Primer in gray. What this is going to do is allow your paint to go on a little bit more smoother, and you're going to use a lot less paint by the time you're done painting your project. Let's get ready to play with some paint. Today's piece is Kernel Mustard. I'm going to apply 2 even coats of Kernel Mustard using my synthetic brushes from Dixie Belle. I'm also going to keep on hand my spray misting bottle filled with water to help minimize those brush strokes that you might see when you're painting. On the second coat, I wanted to add a little bit more bright ombre effect at the top. To do this, I added a little bit of Plum Crazy and blended the 2 colors together. Keep separate brushes for each color and your spray misting bottle. You can easily combine these 2 to make a gorgeous ombre blend. I came in with my Plum Crazy and painted the door for the stove on the inside and the outside. After waiting for my paint to dry, I came in with the Latin Floral Transfer. Transfers are under the Bells and Whistles line on the Dixie Belle paint page. This transfer contains 4 sheets inside the tube, along with a small burnishing tool that you use to apply your transfer. Peel your transfer from the backing sheet, then place gently onto the piece that you're adhering it to. Once you've lined up your lines, you can push it down and smooth with your hand. Then use the small burnishing tool to get the transfer to adhere to your piece of furniture. Remember to go slow and take your time. This is the part where you want to make sure your edges line up well. Once you make sure that those lines meet, you can push it down and then push your hand straight down the transfer to adhere it to your piece. By rubbing gently with your small tool, you can see the transfer release from the sheet. When your transfer is onto your piece, you're going to want to smooth it out and make sure that there are no air bubbles underneath your transfer. Let's add a little pop of detail with the Mandala Silkscreen Stencil. Peel your silkscreen stencil from the backing. Place down onto the item that you're going to be using. Burnish it down with your hand to make sure it's smooth and flat. You can then use the applicator tool that's included inside the package to apply your paint, or you can use a small foam applicator like I do to push your paint through that mesh silkscreen stencil. After you have applied your paint, you can peel back your stencil and see the desired effect. You're going to want to wash your stencil as soon as possible to remove any paint that might be immersed inside the mesh stencil. Washing with your scrubby soap and warm water immediately after use keeps your stencil reusable up to 10 times. I wanted to add just a little bit more detail. Using these sweet little Woodubend flowers, I painted them in Plum Crazy. You can heat up the back of your Woodubend moldings, apply wood glue, and adhere to the piece. Once you've placed your Woodubend molding onto your piece, you're going to want to heat it one more time just to ensure that it's stuck flat to your project. Woodubend moldings are adhered with wood glue. You can also find this on the Dixie Belle paint page. When Woodubend moldings are warm, they're bendable and pliable. You can put them around edges of tables or legs, and they shape to fit the form. After completing all of the painted surfaces, transfers, and Woodubend, it's time to seal your piece. I wanted to add clear coat in satin all over the piece to protect my paint. Using my blue sponge that I made wet with my misting bottle, I apply my clear coat all over the piece in smooth, even motions. When using bells and whistles transfers, it's important to seal your transfer. You can use clear wax or clear coat to protect your transfer. On the front of the stove door, there was a plexiglass door. I wanted to finish this off where the scratches were on the plexiglass since I couldn't remove it. So I added a transfer over top to camouflage any scratches that might be left on the surface. I used gemstone mousse and golden gem and a small brush to highlight the edges of the front of the stove door. This cute little vintage stove has a whole new life. It went from boring and brown to boho and fabulous. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video.